Welcome to Book Bites, your weekly dose of literary delight. We dive into Amazon's top-selling books, giving you the lowdown on what's hot and what's not. Join us as we uncover hidden gems, discuss captivating storylines, and analyze the minds of best-selling authors. Whether you're a seasoned reader or just starting your literary journey, there's something for everyone. So grab a cup of coffee, get cozy, and let's get reading.
All right, so have you ever heard of a deaf high school football team going for a perfect season?
Sounds kind of tough, right?
Yeah, a little bit. But that's exactly what we are diving into today. It's a book called The Boys of Riverside.
A deaf football team and a quest for glory.
Yeah, by Thomas Fuller. And it is seriously like so much more than just a sports story.
It really is. It's really about deaf culture, about resilience, and about overcoming like any obstacle that's in your way.
For sure. It's inspiring to everyone, I think, no matter what your background is. But anyway, The Boys of Riverside. What really struck me, just starting off, was how Fuller, the author, brings you right into these crazy intense games.
Right. The stakes are so high right from the beginning because they're on this quest for a perfect season.
Exactly. And every single game has so much tension because, it's all riding on it.
And he writes it in a way that you're right there in the moment with them, feeling every play.
Totally. Okay, but here's my question. I was reading this and thinking, how do they even call plays?
Right. How do they communicate? Football is all about split-second decisions and communication.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard when you can't hear what your teammates are saying.
Well, and that's the beauty of it. Fuller takes you inside and shows you how they develop this whole system.
Really?
Yeah, of signs and signals, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
So they're out there on the field, silently communicating.
Wow. That's got to be a huge advantage, too.
Totally. Imagine being the other team trying to figure out what they're doing. You can't hear anything.
Oh, man. That is such a cool way to think about it.
It's like a secret weapon.
Yeah.
It turns what you might think is a weakness into a strength, right?
Absolutely. But this book, it's not all just X's and O's on the field, right?
Way. It goes way deeper. It takes you into the lives of these players, their families, the whole deaf community.
And it's like a whole different world. I found myself thinking about things that I had never thought about before.
Like what?
Well, simple things,
Right.
like how they communicate off the field, how they experience music in movies.
Right, all those things we take for granted.
Exactly. And the book doesn't shy away from the challenges either.
Definitely not. Some of these kids, their families didn't even know sign language.
And that's tough.
Yes.
Communication is so fundamental to everything. Family, friends, school, everything.
It really is. But you see how they overcome these things, how resilient they are? It's pretty inspiring.
It makes you think about deafness in a whole new way.
Right. It's not just about not being able to hear. It's a culture, a community, a different way of experiencing the world.
And it's something that I think a lot of people don't really understand.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most valuable things about this book. It opens your eyes to a whole new perspective.
Absolutely. There's this one story that really stuck with me about this player, Jason.
Oh, yeah, I remember Jason. What about him?
So he was this amazing running back.
Yeah.
But get this, he lost his hearing when he was 5 years old.
Wow, so he had to learn to adapt to a whole new way of life.
Yeah, and not just in everyday life, but on the football field too. Imagine having to learn a whole new way to play a game.
Especially a game like football where communication is so important.
Exactly. And he never gave up. He learned to read his teammates' lips, their body language, everything. It's incredible.
He's the definition of resilience, He could have easily just given up, but he didn't. He kept going.
It makes you think about your own life. What are the things that you've been putting off because they seem too hard?
Totally. It's a reminder that anything is possible if you set your mind to it and are willing to put in the work.
This book really makes you think about what it means to be determined. These kids, they face so many more obstacles than most of us ever will.
For sure. And yet, they never let it stop them. They had this unwavering belief in themselves and each other.
And that team spirit, that camaraderie, it just jumps off the page.
It really does. You can tell how much they care about each other and how much they rely on each other, both on and off the field.
Yeah, and Fuller does an incredible job of capturing all of that. His writing is so vivid, you feel like you are right there in the huddle with them.
Definitely. There's this one game I was reading about against their rivals, the California School for the Deaf Fremont.
Oh yeah, the Eagles. That was a big one, right?
Huge. And the way Fuller describes it, the tension, the back and forth, you can feel your heart pounding right along with them.
You feel like you're in the stands, like you can hear the crowd roaring, even though, it's a deaf school.
Right. But you can feel the energy, the excitement. It's palpable.
I got chills reading some of those game scenes.
Yeah.
Like he really brings you into the heart of the action.
Exactly. And it's not just the games. He also does a great job of portraying the, quieter moments.
Like what?
The moments of doubt, the struggles they face off the field, like dealing with people who don't understand them, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's an important part of the story, too. It's not all sunshine and roses,
Definitely not. But even in those tough moments, you see that same spirit of resilience, that determination to overcome.
It's inspiring. But you know what I wish the book did more of?
What's that?
I really wanted to dive even deeper into deaf culture itself. Like the book touches on sign language and stuff.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like getting a little bit more history, maybe.
Yeah. Like how did deaf communities develop? How did they overcome the challenges they faced?
And how do those challenges differ around the world? That would have been fascinating, right?
Totally. And maybe even hearing more from the players themselves about their personal experiences.
Like more individual stories.
Right. Like what was it like growing up deaf? What are their hopes and dreams for the future? That kind of stuff.
I agree. I think that would have added another layer of depth and richness to the book.
For sure. But even so, The Boys of Riverside,
Yeah.
man, it's a powerful story. Like it stays with you.
It really does. It makes you think about things differently.
It's more than just a sports book. It's about the human spirit. It's about overcoming challenges. It's about connection.
It's about finding your people, your community, and leaning on each other to achieve amazing things.
And it reminds us that no matter what obstacles we face in our own lives, we can overcome them. If these kids can do it, we can too.
Absolutely. And that's a powerful message for everyone, no matter who you are, where you come from, or what challenges you face.
So if you're looking for a book that will inspire you, that will make you think, and that will stay with you long after you finish it, check out The Boys of Riverside.
Trust us, you won't be disappointed.
All right. That's our deep dive for today. We'll catch you next time, folks.
See you then.
That's all for this episode of Book Bites. We hope you enjoyed our review. And if you did, please like, share, and follow our podcast. And don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts on the book. We love hearing from our listeners.